This is Justine Browning at the Paley Center in New York City to talk to the cast of the hit Amazon original series, Transparent. One of the moments that really struck me about season one is the moment when Maura goes into the woman's restroom and just sort of the utter disgust that she's met with. Yeah. When you look back on a lot of the moments you've had to play, which ones really resonated with you and maybe haunted you a little bit? That moment for me.
It's not just the ones that I played, it's the ones that I've seen other people do. That one is a very powerful one for me, and I also think it shows what happens in the world and how people relate to people from that community and why there is so much of an issue and so many problems with the community. There are so many scenes, I couldn't even begin to list them for you. We've got one coming up this year that I think is going to be really powerful too.
A hint? What will it be?
No hints, you'll see. How's that?
Jeffrey, I understand that you actually played out that moment in real life behind the scenes, the bathroom moment, and were met with a similar reaction.
You did?
In an interview, you said that you had actually behind the scenes.
Oh, I actually, and I still do it, and I'm not trying to be trite or funny, and I don't even know if you know this. At an airport or anywhere, I am as likely to go into the women's bathroom as I will to the men's bathroom because on our set, rightfully and ethically correct, we have non-gender bathrooms. So I was met very early on. I was, you don't belong here, and I went. And they actually recognized me, and but I said, remember, and it wasn't like more, it wasn't hatred or anything, but I went, just remember that, But, the actress who played that woman, the hater, was brilliant because she brought it. And I've had so many people tell me they've had this experience. It's very, not common, but it happens.
We get to see Shelley and Maura in flashback moments.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the characters then versus the present day when the show is set?
Their knees don't hurt.
That would be the biggest thing of all.
Oh, that
That's
would be
right.
a miracle.
Their knees,
I think we should do an episode where our knees get
I do too, where
cured.
we go
We
in.
both have bad left knees.
Right, where we both go in for a knee replacement.
Yes.
No, you can tell in the physicality, you can tell in the physical body, you can tell with the difference in the wigs. You can see what it is, but
I think you're also saying what happened to them, and they were warmer, but Maura was always fighting it. Listen, they weren't the best. They're not the most ideal parents in the world, and the kids get a lot of criticism because they go, but we raised those kids, and they didn't have a firm underpinning with these parents.
That's right. I mean, and I have often said that he and she as Maura is a better mother than Shelley ever was. So their children, a lot of people say that they're selfish and they're self-centered, but like Jeffrey says, the parenting was not really there.
Not the best.
This character, Ali, she is a woman that when I watch her and I think of you playing this role, it seems so brave, a lot of the scenes that you do. Do you look at it that way as you're portraying this character?
No, I don't. I don't quite know how to deal with this word brave when it comes up. It's really easy to portray Ali for me. Not to dismiss it. I mean, the stuff that people call brave is usually related to like the nudity and the sort of ugliness of her. And that's just stuff I'm really comfortable with. I sort of grew up in a nude family, and I think that it's brave for a lot of people to be vulnerable in that way and expose themselves in that way if they're uncomfortable with it, but I'm not uncomfortable with it, so to me it's just sort of easy. She's very familiar to me. We're quite different, but Jill writes for us, and we are sort of in conversation with our characters in this way, and it's just this nice fit, and Ali is sort of figuring out who she is, and there's a lot of space there to interpret that, so it's a lot of fun. Sometimes I don't know what the hell I'm doing or how to do it, but that's just the fun and challenge of being an actor, regardless of who you're playing. So no, it's a real privilege is what it is.
Well, it's just so rare to see characters that are grappling with different forms of identity. They're not just easy to fit into a certain box.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this show does so well with each character.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that could be incredibly refreshing.
It sure is. I mean, the story, the characters, and the writing, and the company I keep with these incredible actors, it's all so good that it's just really fun and incredibly enjoyable to show up and get to inhabit that, you know? And like I said, there's so much space. She's not a cliche. There is no box. I mean, especially Ali, who is all over the place. And there's no wrong way to go with that. So I get to just interpret it and feel free with it, and I have all this incredible support. So, I mean, it's just a lot of fun. Yeah.
When we last saw Sarah, she was at pretty significant crossroads. And what I think is so compelling is that we actually have no idea which direction she can go in.
I don't think she knows what direction.
Exactly.
She's like, let's try them all.
Let's try possibly going back to the husband.
Yes, well,
in the laundry
201
room.
is screening today at this event, so
I
I feel
just
like I
found
can
that out.
start to. I think the secret will be out that at least at the beginning of 2, we're going to be in Tammyland for a while. But it doesn't go well, I will tell you. But that's pretty much in the first episode. You'll see that. So
Interesting.
yeah.
One of the compelling things as well is the fact that Mara's transition affects each family member differently.
Yeah.
And specifically for Sarah, she reacts very quickly in a very, very big way. Do you think it was maybe too bold a reaction?
I think that's exactly what happened. It's funny you say that having not seen it. You'll see exactly that. It was a jump in, and then it's a, what did I do? I didn't breathe. I didn't take a moment and she spends a lot of the second season trying to deal with the consequences of that quick movement and trying to find herself in a way that's not related to the relationships that she's in. So, but yeah, I think she definitely moved a little too fast. I think she had a little bit of a I think she just was inspired, and in that way where you're just like, I'm going to do what I want to do, and then you're like, oh, there's consequences, there's other people involved. So maybe a little immature.
Because one way to look at Mara's announcement in many ways is, well, I don't want to hold back. I don't want to hide myself. I don't want to look back and make any mistakes because this person has been living a lie for
That's
70
right.
years, essentially.
That's right. I think she's like deeply moved and terrified by that, the length of time that her Mappa lived in a lie and wasn't authentically herself. So I think she felt like she needed to jump to her idea of authenticity. But I think what she realizes is that she's not really sure what that is yet.
Interesting. I mean, I noticed other cast members talking about the fact that Jill Soloway, the creator, allows for you to have your own input to a degree. And I think that might contribute to why it feels so natural and easy to connect with.
Yeah, she does in both storyline and on the day. I mean, I think we have a lot of freedom within the scene that we're shooting and within the storyline that we're in. And if we're not feeling something's authentic or something doesn't jive, she's like, throw it out. She has no preciousness about her. She's only interested in the emotional authenticity of what's happening. And so we get to bring our full selves every day. And I think that's what people are responding to. I mean, it's hard to edit because we play a lot.
Yeah.
We have these genius editors who take all of these different options and turn it into something cohesive. But we get to play and explore, and it's very rare that you have that kind of freedom. So it's the best job I've ever had.
I was just saying, like, it's a show that just stays with you. It feels so personal and easy to connect with.
I know. It starts with her, but she allows us to all express her authentic artistic vision, which that's one of the great things that you get with someone who's worked for a while, who has a voice that they've clearly defined. And we all have worked for a while. This is, an older crew compared to most stuff that people are consuming. And I think that what you get from that is a lot of like deep soul, because everyone has a ton of experience in their life. So,
being such a fan of your writing,
Thanks.
I wonder how it is to come into a show like this that feels so natural, feels so naturalistic in the dialogue, and when you're watching it, coming from the mumblecore movement, where that was definitely the case.
Yeah, I mean, Jill's a genius, and she encourages us to improvise and own our characters and make the dialogue as real as possible and make the moments as dangerous and as real as possible. So I come from that world, I'm comfortable with that, and that's what inspires me and makes me feel alive. And so, I'm just crazy lucky to be on this show. I wasn't really even an actor before Jill decided that I was going to do this.
I love that story about how you two met and you were helping her come up with who could play Josh. And she's
Yeah.
like, you know what, I think it should be you.
Yeah.
What on earth did you say to
I said
convince
no.
him?
I said no. I have my own show on HBO that I'm about to make. I was just
Yeah.
about to make it, and I was like, it's not really gonna happen. And she was insistent, and she said, I want you to come in and read with Gaby and Amy. And once I read with Gaby and Amy, I just fell in love with them, and we were messing with each other and being sweet to each other, just the way that siblings do, and there's some weird kismet about it that felt like it was meant to be. So I was just like, who am I to deny the will of this incredible person? Yeah.
Sure, and running your own show at the same time,
Yeah.
essentially.
It's been a weird switch. It's like I went from 100% movies to 80% TV now.
But how does one influence the other? I mean, having the perspective of a showrunner and also having the perspective of an actor, and you're working with so many actors, obviously, on your show. Yeah, how does one influence the way you handle certain situations?
Luckily, Jill and I are so similar. I think our styles are. I don't know if there's really another filmmaker I would say working today that's more similar than Jill and I are. So we're very aligned. I have learned some great things from her about show running and in general, and just how to wield this gigantic beast called a television show, which is we really regard more as long form storytelling. It's not necessarily you're packaging 22-minute nuggets for people. We're just kind of telling story over time. So we do have an open dialogue and talk about what it means, and just the fact that people are binge watching this stuff and consuming it in a different way. So we just talk about it all the time and try and help each other tell the best stories that we can.
What struck me most about the finale in terms of Josh was that there was a discussion as to whether or not he's a sex addict or a love addict, and then we see him for the first time, essentially, or claiming for the first time that he's found love with the rabbi.
Yeah.
And then we're kind of left just with a big question mark as to where it's all going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, A, do you think he's either going in the direction of sex addict or love addict? And is this real love for him? Did he really believe that?
Well, I know some things because I shot the whole second season. I know a little bit about the third season. I won't spoil anything.
There's a third season, which is amazing
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
Gosh.
Well, we haven't shot it, but they're working on it. What I love about the show is that Jill allows these issues to be murky like they are in real life. And I don't think Josh knows very much about himself at all. I think that's what's really interesting about the character. He has very low self-awareness. It's really interesting to have a highly intelligent, capable person be very unself-aware and also destroying his own opportunities at every turn. And that I've seen that in life, and that's a real thing. I think that's what's so exciting about it. But the main thing I'll say about season 2 is just that Josh really tries to pull his stuff together and grow up. That's a big part of his arc in season 2, and be a man and try to create his own sense of family.